Hey everyone, welcome to the archive. I'm your head archivist, Rob, and today I'm going to show you how to put together the original OG Gundam, the RX-782 Gundam, the prototype close combat Gundam. That's not particularly a series I got into. Of course, I'm doing this afterwards, but I had originally thought of showing you guys how to weather this guy, but he looks so cool all finished with the nice high gloss look, especially on that shield. I don't want to damage that. That looks so cool. But that's what we're going to do in this week's video. Okay, here we are. We're going to get the first step going, in which first step is getting organized. Get your pieces out so you can see them and easily grab them. What I love about the Gundams is they're usually set up alphabetically, but organization is key no matter what model you're putting together. I get into the instructions elsewhere, but I like the instructions of the Gundam kits the best because you get a lot of neat information. Now, the second step, for me at least, is to paint them, and I like to use a Gundam marker or just a regular paint marker because it's water-based, so cleanup is a breeze, and it's definitely much more clean to do because it doesn't go everywhere. And I also like to paint on the sprue before I take it off because that way it keeps things clean as well. Now, if you're not 100% certain on the color, you can test it on the sprue plastic to see exactly what it's going to end up looking like before you ruin a piece. I love that blue, and I'm not really a blue fan. There you can see close up. Now I'm showing you off the glue. This is a glue that you're probably going to find everywhere, but if you can, try and find this blue stuff. It doesn't stink up the whole house, and definitely spend a little extra and get the glue tip because it keeps glue from going everywhere. This is learned from my mistakes. Okay, and a good pair of nippers is important no matter what. It can be used for electrical or just for the modeling. But, I mean, you can use an X-Acto knife, but it risks damaging the actual model. Now here I'm starting the torso. I've kind of put some pieces together for you, so it's much faster. Kind of a test fit. Now I think I need the yellow piece, but I end up having to put it on after I've got these together. And you don't want to try and force the any of the pieces together, really. If it forces, you're probably messing something up. But a nice hand squeeze and gets things together. Here you can definitely see how that tip helps the glue from not going everywhere. And because it works by melting the plastic, you definitely don't want it going everywhere. Okay, there's a close-up of the backpack. Okay. What am I doing here? Oh, here's the head. Typically the head's one of the latter projects, but this is a real simple head if I actually ever get it in frame for you. There you go. Now there's the whole torso and head part together. Now you're going to see me struggle through the arms. I put it together backwards. I accidentally put two of the exact same pieces on, and you're going to see me use a tool to get the things separated, which came with my tweezer set, but I end up using that way more often than I thought I ever would, the separator piece. But I'll kind of show you what I did wrong up close here shortly. Yep, there's my little separator. Pardon me. Problem with voiceover work is when you do 20 takes, because somebody has to holler in the middle, you forget what you cover. So if I miss anything that you want me to cover, please make sure to tell me in the comment section. Okay. Yeah, there you can see I had put two of the bottom pieces. You'll see me. Yep, I had put two of those together, but make sure you get the correct pieces before you glue everything down. Now, I purposefully leave mistakes in so that, you guys get the lesson that it's not making a mistake that's the problem. It's not admitting it and not fixing it and not learning from the mistake and repeating it in the future. Learning from one's mistakes are important. Okay, there you see me articulating it to try and show you how I figure out which direction things go, but I even end up putting it backwards. This is actually the first time I've put together this particular Gundam. It's not necessarily a Gundam series that I'm super familiar with. My favorite one happens to be the 8th MS team. It's kind of a Vietnam War movie as opposed to your typical anime fare. Yeah, that one went together a little tightly. But, if you ever have difficulty getting a piece together, you can actually kind of use your nippers to get it together. You obviously don't want to use the cutting side. You put it between the handles where it will go, and you can use that to get a little more torque, I guess, to get things to go together. That's a trick I've learned. Showing the little detail piece. This is the first time I've done a Gundam that has that little detail piece. Most of the times those little rounds are just connected to the one part of the elbow, or the white plastic part. It's one whole piece. They've gotten to adding more pieces so much more detail can be had. A lot of the original Gundam model kits were kind of practically 3 pieces. Here you see me struggle for a second and actually have to consult the instructions, because, when in doubt, consult the instructions. I don't know, you may get to hear me curse somebody out. Here I'm trying to show you to figure out how the arm articulates before you put it together, so you know which side of the model you're putting it on. You know, I've accidentally put it on the wrong side a couple of times and then had to use my little pry tool to get things apart. Fortunately, this isn't that detailed of a Gundam. But, yeah. Showing you how the pieces go together. And then immediately taking it off camera so you can't see me put it in. That's what she said. Here I try a little camera trickery. Definitely some of the problem is I forget the exact position I had it in at the camera. Here I put together the feet. Weirdly enough, they're the most essential part, but they're often the most different among these Gundam model parts. There's the neat little inner connection. It's typically a softer plastic so that it grips to the nub that goes into it, but it also isn't super tight so that it actually allows for some articulation, because these are equal parts toy and model kit. Here's where you get to see me struggle to figure out which direction these little pieces go on. I think they're inner mechanic dust covers in, sort of in canon. Something tells me the artist just thought they looked neat. But we are a fiddly lot. But I found out that the outside of the foot is typically where you want to put the piece. There are the feet done, and now I work on the leg pieces. As I've kind of alluded to several times, they've actually gotten much more complicated with these model kits. The originals were basically head, middle, arms, and legs. So 4 pieces just put together. There wasn't any articulation at the arms or at the knees. And now you can pose and put them in nearly infinite positions. Yeah. I think here's where you're going to see me. Yep, I have to touch up. One of the negatives of painting on the sprue is you miss some piece that's just kind of hidden. But again, you're going to have to do touch-ups no matter what. And the other reason I like to paint on the sprue is it's usually dry when you start to paint, so there is even that protection to the plastic of the paint. So that's one more level of forgiveness. Showing you how it goes together so that the legs actually work properly. And don't bend back like a chicken leg, but actually work like an actual human leg. Ooh, shiny. These are an interesting connector. I don't know if I left it in where I have a little difficulty because I tried to force the pieces together and I squished it, but yeah, I don't really like those internal pieces, to be honest, even though it's a much tighter two-way connection. Now, I kind of like that they've started doing the legs in three pieces because it gives you a little more to do and adds greater detail to each of the pieces. And showing you how the little bits are in. I certainly hope this is easier to follow on your side, because my preview window makes everything look about as tiny as each of those individual pieces are in reality. And I don't know if I got it covered in this particular take, but if I missed something and you need more information, be sure and ask me questions in the comment section. Oh, yep, here's where I have to fight with the little piece because I tried to force the things together and I squished the soft plastic. Yeah, I think I did that so that I could actually cover it a little better in the voiceover, but this is the first time I'm doing it in voiceover. And normally I'm actually telling you what I'm doing as I'm doing it, but you know, building models, you kind of want to have some music in the background, and this way I can listen to music but cut it out later and actually give you detailed information and not have to worry about copyright strikes. The little white details. I was like, what am I doing here? What are any of us doing here? That's what you come here for, existential dread, not actual DIY. I don't know how this turned into a DIY channel other than, you know, it's a wiki of some things that I know how to do. You know, because the whole global plague has made it hard to do convention coverage when there aren't any conventions. Okay, showing you here to make sure you know which direction the legs are supposed to go. They actually are angled in a specific way and how they connect to the torso. But again, you don't realize how complicated the human body is because 90% of it's covered up by the skin. So it hides how joints and intersections work, which is kind of fascinating if you ever get into anatomy. Up here I'm touching up again because these tiny pieces were hard to paint on the sprue. Sorry, I got distracted by it raining outside. I don't know about you, but I kind of think it's pretty. Here's a little homage to Philip J. Frog here shortly. The singing frog from the Warner Brothers cartoons. Okay, here I'm actually assembling the torso, which is kind of the final piece in this fun little puzzle. I'm going to have to blow my nose here after I finish the voiceover. Yeah. But definitely one of the things I love about Syracuse is there's like 4 or 5 places that I can actually drive to pick up Gundam models. I don't have to do everything via Amazon like I used to back in Indiana. Oh, here it has an option for these 2 pieces, but I ended up doing the flat because, you know, I'm not likely to use this little rocket launcher piece. You know, I put it together and glued it together so that, you know, if I change my mind in the future, I can, but not. Okay, phone call in the middle of trying to voice over is a real pain in the ass, but yeah, I'm finishing up the torso here. I kind of like this nice single piece because it makes sure everything goes together fine. What am I looking for? The actual body connection part. Yeah, that's actually the hip bone. It's kind of interesting how complicated it has to be when our own hip bone is so simple but does exactly what this does. Well, I mean, minus having the sort of skirt on it, showing you how that little connector goes in. I don't end up gluing those so they can go all directions. You'll see here I mess up because I can't quite figure out which direction it goes in, but yep. It's like, is it here? No, that's obviously not there, so we switch it over. Give it a nice little squeeze and it's in there. But as you see, that little nozzle just helps things go so much more smoothly, and again, keeps glue from going everywhere. As you see, some of the problems of sausage fingers and super tiny pieces. That's why I have such a lovely tweezer set. And as you see, you know, the glue gives you kind of a nice window for adjusting things. You know, it sets in about, let's say, 10 minutes. So you got that long to adjust things and get things right. Did I get that backwards? No, I'm just looking at it from the wrong angle. And there we have a complete Gundam. Do. strange how it went vertical when I recorded horizontal the whole time. That little glitch was me trying to cut out where it just was not focusing. What's nice is they give you enough hands that you can now just glue one hand to the weapons and take that on and off. Okay, as a problem with every one of these little kits, you get lots of these awesome little accessories, and, a stupid, cheap way of storing all of it is your, regular old sandwich bag. Collect all the pieces together and stick them in a sandwich bag. That way they don't disappear. Recently, as I've gotten more into, back into really building these Gundam models, I've started saving the instruction manuals. Now, while most of them are in kanji or Japanese, they're also a pretty interesting repository of helpful building information and just information in general about the series, but it's a nice something to save that you can easily store, whereas the box can tend to, while it's small, tends to take up a lot of space on a shelf. So, again, I like to keep and collect the instructions. So that was a lot of fun, and as you already know, I ruined the surprise by telling you that I already got this little guy done. I definitely love doing the Gundam models. They're a challenge and a fascinating story each and every time you build one, even if you're doing the exact same version that you did the last time. But what's really important is that you have fun and you learn from the experience. I want to say thank you for coming to the archive again, and I will see you next week.